Hi, welcome back to part 3. I've got a Kajiva Mito here. As you can see, the crossbar is the only place I can actually mount the camera effectively. As you can see how thin this bar is, which is why I had to use the smallest T-piece I could find. But don't forget, these T-pieces do come in various sizes, so you'll be able to pick up any type of size to handle main handlebars on a motorbike, even on a push bike. So this is multi-application. So if you go down to here, and we can see I've already mounted the Jubilee clips, because it's a lot easier to get them on the bar first than trying to wrap around the plastic. I mentioned about electrical tape. Well, the idea with the electrical tape is that if you don't have any foam type, all you have to do, and I'll quickly show you, is take some tape, wrap it around. Now this doesn't have to be smooth, but you can just add the tape and keep adding the tape, and basically that builds up the thickness or the sturdiness of the grip. You can see that. So I'm about to mount this on there like so. Put two halves, make sure one's on the other side. So these will slip on like so, and the other one like so. Now once you're in that position, you can ferret it up so that it's pretty straight, and all you need to do next is screw them in. So I'll grab my screwdriver, try and keep the brackets as close as possible to the center of each side, because you want a good grip. You don't want this moving around. So as you can see, I'm closing it up. That's pretty good. And I'm doing this one on here. That should be at least hand tight. You can make final adjustments at a later stage, but for this purpose we're just demonstrating how firm we can get this. Now as you can see, the movement of that is pretty solid. Even if the bike was to go over a bump, that would be pretty tight, but like I said, this plastic's pretty strong and you can tighten it up some more. I will have to say that you can use more electrical tape to get a firmer grip on things, but as long as that's fine, we have the last Jubilee clip that will go like that. Now as we tighten this up, you don't want this one too tight, because you want to be able to get your 3-inch pipe still in there. So as long as it's a reasonable tension on there, like so, we've got the two pieces. Now as you probably can't see, but I've roughened up both sides of the tube just so there's a bit more friction and grip. Place the tube in there like so, if I can get it in there. Nope. I'm going to have to undo the clip as I've done it too tight. Okay, that one goes in. Make sure that's a snug fit, and then tighten up. That's pretty tight, and that's pretty tight. Might have to adjust that a little bit later, but for this purpose it's fine. The top is here. That goes on straight, and I am going to adjust this last Jubilee to make it a little bit more firmer. So I think the trick is to center the Jubilee clips as much as possible. So, like so. Yep, that's a good fit. We'll straighten these up a bit more. You can, in theory, get a thicker tube here to align the height of where your visor is, or screen. Okay, I think that camera mount's pretty strong. You can see there's a bit of movement, but you could expect that. Or alternatively, you could try and get a wider teeth piece, but I think the more electrical tape you put on there, the better it actually is. So that's on, and that's it. You have one homemade camera mount. And the next video we shall test out the actual camera and see how it flies. But like I said, if you don't have neoprene, you can just keep on wrapping that electrical tape till you've got good tension on this bar. Okay, that's it.